Persia, Lawson.
That's my music! What is it? Do you know what? When I got asked to do it, they were like, what music do you want? And I was like, I couldn't think of one song. And I was like, why didn't I ask that David Brent song from The Office? That would have been good. You can...
Whole lot of love.
Oh, that's what it is. Oh, well, that's actually quite cool. I didn't own that very well. Hi guys, I'm Persia. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for inviting me to speak. It's going to be quite spontaneous because I only found out I was doing it today. But I like spontaneity, so that's good. And I just want to say thank you to the other speakers. I've really got a lot from what you said. And I think that hopefully what I'm going to share is going to build and connect with a lot of what you said anyway. So yeah, I'm going to be talking, I'm a love coach. I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about how to attract and sustain soulful relationships in the chaos of the modern dating world. But I probably should start by telling you that I am probably the least likely candidate to actually be a love coach. In fact, most of my life I've been an absolute disaster in relationships, as I will share a little bit with you. I'll give you a bit of context and background, and what I want you to do is actually listen out for anything that resonates for you. So you might have different circumstances to what I had when I was growing up, but there might be some feelings or emotions that you do relate to, and that's what's important. So listen out for the similarities. So I grew up, both my parents were drug addicts, unfortunately. It was a bit of a bummer. And that meant that the first 16 years of my life were really turbulent, really chaotic, and I didn't feel safe. I did not feel safe in the world at all. And so the way that I dealt with that is that I completely hid and escaped. I used to listen to Les Miserables on repeat in my little red Sony Walkman. And I used to just study really hard. And I thought, if I can be the A-star student and get all the attention and love and validation, then maybe my parents will stop, doing drugs. Didn't work. When I discovered boys, it was bloody brilliant. Because I was like, here, I can now escape from what's going on at home, but I also have that validation and get that attention that I've been so craving. And so I started acting out with boys very, very young, too young, to be honest. And then, very fortunately, my parents got sober when I was 16. And you'd think, yay, happily ever after. But actually, that wasn't the case, because I was so used to chaos and drama the whole time. And suddenly, it was like one day I came home from lower sixth, and there's my mum with a dog that she just bought, like making cookies. She's like, darling, have friends over. And I was like, okay, this is not, I don't get this. I don't know how to work with this. And so I went outside the family unit and I started looking for all that craziness, because that's what I was used to. And the thing is, and I'm sure many of you will know, that we always will be drawn to the familiar. We will be drawn to what we know. And even if it's rubbish, even if you know it's going to end badly, it's like, as they say, better the devil you know. So even though the unfamiliar could hold amazing potential and have, all this opportunity, it's really scary. It's completely out of our comfort zone. And that was very much the case for me. So I developed from a young age, obviously a complete fear of commitment, complete fear of intimacy, because I hadn't felt safe in relationships. I hadn't been able to trust anyone. So I would cheat on my boyfriends. I would nick, I didn't nick friends' boyfriends per se, but I did nick girls I didn't know very much. I nicked their boyfriends. I thought that's right, so I was count. And I thought, well, why not? Like, it made me feel good. And I was just so numb. I used to say, my friends would say, do you not feel bad? I was like, I don't feel anything. And I think I was just constantly had such ice around my heart by that point. And even though everything at home was great, and this just got progressively worse. Went to university, was an absolute car crash. But I got straight A's, so it was fine. And then I obviously became an actress. Why not? Obvious next step. And after drama school, I think once I was in education, so as long as I could keep getting validation from, you're either getting lead roles or you're winning at, you're getting A's, and I was a total overachieving perfectionist, then I felt okay. And then I came out of drama school, and it was car crash like number 19 by this point. And I remember I did an acting job in China, and when I was there, I was all over the place, just all over the place in every way that you can possibly imagine. And I actually put on 2 stone in 2 months, which is quite some feat, let me tell you. And I remember coming home from the airport. My parents picked me up from Heathrow, and they were like, "Woo, okay, ooh, something isn't right. Because everything else I could hide, and this one I could not hide. And so my dad said to me, darling, how would you feel about coming on like a nice yoga retreat in Thailand? And obviously I was skint, so I was like, yeah, I'll take that. Went to Thailand, and my dad said something to me one morning on the beach that really stuck with me, and it changed my life forever. You know that moment, and I'm sure everyone in this room has had it, you know, the moment of the spiritual awakening. From that point on, nothing was the same, sliding doors moment. And he said to me, if you focus on the insides, the outsides will take care of themselves. If you focus on the insides, the outsides will take care of themselves. And so it was like, duh, oh my God, yes, of course. That makes so much sense. So I was like, right. I remember coming home from that holiday and being like, Mum, project me. Give me a month and I'm going to be healed. I'm going to be magnificent and everything's going to be great. And she was like, okay, this will be interesting. So I threw myself into therapy. You know, it was so sweet. I really, really went for it. Like I did therapy. I went to Al-Anon, which was for the friends and family of addicts and alcoholics. So I was looking at all the childhood stuff. But obviously, I really believe that water seeks its own level and that actually you attract people who offer the opportunity for maximum healing potential. And because for me, relationships had always been the thing that I'd been so self-destructive and sabotaging in, I think that it made sense that a relationship was the thing that turned it all around for me and had to make me really deal with those lessons. Because in some respects, it's very easy when you're on your own, not very easy, easy to a degree when you're on your own to do your kind of healing stuff. But when you've got another person and all their shit, that's when it gets really, really difficult. So I then attracted, very soon, an addict who was fresh out of rehab. So for me, again, progress. He'd been in rehab. He'd not been drinking for a while, so that was good. And he was actually looking at his stuff. So we were kind of looking at our stuff together. And I had a year with him, which was magnificent in many ways. And actually, this relationship was magnificent in many ways. I learned so much, learned about myself, but it was also the most painful thing in the world because it was literally the mirror. He was the mirror and he showed me everything that I had to heal within myself. And also, he cheated on me. And it was absolutely horrific. And it was like all of that awful pain that I caused other people, I suddenly felt it. So it wasn't only that I was hurt by the betrayal with him, I suddenly felt what I had done to so many other people and felt absolutely nothing about. We broke up, and actually I went to an event, sliding doors moment number 2, where I got given a ticket to go to this event called Key Person of Influence, actually where JP was talking, and that was back in 2012. And I decided, like, once that relationship had ended, I could either go back to my old ways, keep being really self-destructive, or I could use all that energy and channel it into something positive. And I'd had some experience by this point. I was kind of a year and a half into my journey. Because that's the thing. And like, anyone who's been in this kind of spiritual journey or personal development journey for a while will tell you, and I'm sure you all know, it doesn't get changed overnight. You don't go and act crazy for most of your life and just expect it to change. It's a process. I'm still very much in it. I still struggle with a lot of things. But every year for me, it has got easier and easier. And so my friend and I decided to channel that positive energy into our own personal, kind of personal growth lifestyle movement called Addictive Daughter. And that was really amazing. And then obviously, before I knew it, I was in another relationship. Again, it was much healthier than the one before. But it became apparent, 2014, that I just needed to be on my own because I hadn't really been on my own longer than 3 months, like completely on my own. And that was the most terrifying thing for me. So I was on my own and, oh God, it was hard. Like to not have any, for 4 months at a time, to have not even a text from a man, to not have that validation and have to sit with myself was really, really challenging at times. And anyway, what happened next was our work was going really well with Addictive Daughter, and we actually got a book deal with Hodder and Stoughton at the beginning of 2015, which was amazing. And so I spent the summer of 2015 channeling all my energy into writing the first draft of this book. Now, at the end of the book, the last chapter, now this is very synchronistic because of what some other people have already talked about, I wrote this. I wrote, the week before Joey's wedding, I meet with an old friend who tells me that butterflies are a symbol for the twin flame relationship and that mine may well be on its way to me in the not too distant future. A twin flame is a spiritual concept describing a special soul connection between two people. The idea dates back to the ancient Egyptians and Greek philosopher Plato, who said that when one of them meets with his other half, the pair are lost in an amazement of love, friendship, and intimacy, and one will not be out of the other's sight even for a moment. There are several characteristics associated with the twin flame relationship, most notably linked to the first point of meeting. There is a sense of instant recognition, a powerful bond or feeling of love at first sight. So, there I am, I write those words. The next day I'm going to this festival called Wilderness Festival. Has anyone heard of Wilderness Festival? Has anyone been to Wilderness Festival? Come, it's great. You love it? So, Wilderness Festival, I'd been there the year before and I'd had a very interesting life. Can I just ask how long I've got? Because it just depends how much of the story I'm going to tell. I can do this. The year before I'd gone to Wilderness Festival and I'd felt, I don't know if anyone's ever done this, well I certainly have done it in my life, but in a festival I feel like festival's like a microcosm of life, like it's like you're in this little bubble for 3-4 days. And the year before I'd gone and I felt I'd been chasing the festival constantly. I'd booked all this yoga and meditation and I've got to see that band and that band, but I never felt present. I still constantly felt like I was looking around there was a lot of good looking men in glitter. And it's like my dream. And yeah, it's really embarrassing to say this, like I was really bloody desperate. Like I was just like this all the time and I wasn't present. I wasn't really connecting with my friends that I was with. I had good moments, but I wasn't present. So this year, finished writing that, and I was like, whatever happens, here I'm going to Wilderness. I'm not doing it the same as last year because I want to feel present and I want to feel connected. And I'm just going to surrender and let the festival take me where she wants to take me, which is a little metaphor for life, if you hadn't got it already. So surrender and let the festival take me where she wants to take me. So there I am. On the Friday night, I'm dancing with my friend in this like hidden valley and there's acrobatic mermaids and glitter doing somersaults above her head. It's amazing. And for the first time at a festival, I'm not looking around at other men. I'm just present dancing, having fun. And my girlfriend I was with happened to be behaving exactly like I had last year, which was really cringe. And she was like, I just want to kiss them and I want to talk to guys. So I was like, okay. She was talking to kind of men near us. And then I heard her go, who are you? And say the band's there and I'm facing the band. Something in me was just like, turn around. And I turn around and I see this vision of a man with a stick and his like big top hat and feathers, glitter everywhere. And my friend was standing here and I don't know why, but I just pushed her out the way. And I just literally, not one word was said. And we had this very beautiful, tender kiss. And it was amazing. And I kind of didn't really think much of it. He walked me back to my tent and I think he thought I was like, number one, I have a one-man tent and there's 2 of us in it, we can't fit in it. Number 2, I'm a self-respecting woman now. I'm no longer promiscuous, I have a 10-date rule at least and I only sleep with people when I'm exclusive. And he was like, okay. Which for me, I'd had quite a few drinks by that point. Anyway, he puts his number in my phone, blah, blah, blah. The next day, I get a text from him saying, had a great night with you, let's meet by the lake. And I was like, yeah. And then I replied saying when, where, blah, blah, blah. Bastard did not reply to my text. And I remember just feeling, we all know, we've all been there, where you think it went really well, and suddenly you don't hear from them, and it's like blimmin' tumbleweed, and it's really like disheartening. And then I remembered, surrender and let the festival take you where she is going to take you. So that's what I decided to do. I was like, if I see Joey Wilderness again, that's what he put his name in my phone as, then fine. And if not, fine, like it's fine, just be where you are. So that night, I lose all my friends and I meet some other random strangers and it's about 11 at night and I find myself, again, talking to someone and I feel that feeling that says turn around. So I turn around and there is Joey Wilderness striding out of the tent and I run over and I was like, Joey, you didn't text me back. And he said, you didn't text me back. Oh, I'm so happy you're here. And then we realised no signal at festival. So it had been a total anyway, the festival had brought us back together. I'm really ramping it up here. We had honestly the most romantic night of my entire life. And we were sitting by a campfire about 5 in the morning and he sees this little dinosaur necklace that I'm wearing. And he says, oh my God, dinosaurs are my favourite thing in the world. I actually wrote my dissertation on the Jurassic Park theme tune, you know, da 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 da, and I was like, I'm actually going to be walking down the aisle to that song, and he was like, okay, weird. Next day, and I am not kidding, we're walking at night, maybe about 8 o'clock at night, and we hear da 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 da, and I was like, okay, have you spiked my drink? Because that's really weird. We walk around the corner and we see this whole orchestra playing that song with Jurassic Park being projected behind it. It's completely insane. Like, I just couldn't believe it. And we kind of looked at each other. Really weird. It gets weirder. So 2 weeks later, he was going off to Bali. And he was going for 6 weeks. So I just assumed this is a little fling. It's not going to go anywhere. But something in my soul just was like, this is so easy and I want to hang with him, even though my head was going, this is so easy. There's something not right here because I'm used to challenges and drama. He doesn't have a girlfriend. Every single person I've ever gone out with has a girlfriend. This is weird. He was available. He had, single and available. It was really weird. Anyway, we get in a lift on the Friday night, literally a week after meeting. We get in the lift at this restaurant. Guess who gets in the lift with us? No guess. Sam Neill from Jurassic Park. And we were literally like, oh my God. It was insane. And I have to say, there's so many more dinosaur-related coincidences I could go on and on about. But I think you get the idea. It's about synchronicity. And I can say to you that Joey Wildernessar and I have now been living together for 8 months. And we're about to go traveling around the world, which is really exciting. But don't be fooled. So whilst, yes, attracting the right person, I believe it's about being aligned with yourself. Meditation, journaling, gratitude, coming to things like this, getting in nature. I'm sure you know all of it. Wrapping it up. But it is not like you get it and then it's really easy, as I'm sure JP and Jules and anyone else who has met their twin flame will tell you. In fact, you then go into a whole other kettle of fish, quite frankly. And whilst 80% of my relationship is amazing, 20% is really hard, and that's it. It's about the growth potential, and that 20% is where you expand, and it is really challenging and really difficult, but it's what you do with that. So in terms of the right relationship, every single relationship you're in is the right relationship, and I believe that nothing is wasted. I really believe that nothing is wasted. It's what you choose. It's whether you choose to say yes and you gain the lesson and you learn the lesson, or you choose to close off. And as I'm so sorry, I can't remember your name. As you were sharing, yes. And so that's really the message I have to you. Whether you're single now, whether you want to be in a relationship, whatever situation you're in, if you just connect to yourself, you stay open to the synchronicities, then I promise you, you will be led, you will be guided. So I will leave it there.